There's a moment in every desperate life when you look around the room and realize everything in it has a price tag. Even the things you swore were priceless. Sylvester Stallone was there in 1975. Not the Stallone you know, not Rocky, not Rambo. Just a 29-year-old guy with a pregnant wife, a beat-up apartment, and a bank account that laughed at him every time he checked it. $106. That was the whole empire. And he had a dog, a big, slobbery bullmastiff named Butkus. Probably the only creature on Earth who didn't care that Stallone was a failed actor. Butkus just wanted the couch, a walk, and the sound of his voice. But hunger is a quiet thief. It doesn't announce itself. It just sits in the corner until the math stops working. And one night, Stallone did the math. Rent was due, food was a memory, and there was this script he'd written, a story about a nobody boxer who gets one impossible shot. But nobody in Hollywood wanted it unless he stayed far away from the starring role. They offered him $350,000 for the script, more money than he'd ever touched. The catch? He couldn't play Rocky. He had to watch someone else become his own creation. He said no, which sounds heroic until you realize he now had $106, a hungry wife, and a script nobody was buying on his terms. So he did the unthinkable. He stood outside a liquor store in Los Angeles, holding Butkus by the collar, and sold his best friend for $40. 40. For a dog that loved him when nobody else did. For a dog that didn't know what a screenplay was or what desperation smelled like. Think about that walk home. No jingling collar, no warm weight against your leg. Just $40 and the silence where your dog used to be. And here's the part that guts me. Stallone didn't sell the dog because he was giving up. He sold the dog because he was betting everything. On a script nobody believed in. On a face Hollywood said was wrong. On the insane idea that he could be the lead, or he'd be nothing at all. 2 weeks later, the producers blinked. They gave him the role, gave him the shot, and Rocky went on to become the movie that defined an entire era of underdogs. But the story doesn't end with the premiere. It ends with Stallone, now with money in his pocket, knocking on the door of the stranger who bought Butkus, and begging, not as a movie star, as a man who made a mistake he needed to undo. He got him back, paid way more than $40, probably cried in front of a stranger. And if you watch the first Rocky film, that's Butkus in the apartment scenes, the real one, the one who saw the whole war. So what's the lesson? It's not that you should sell what you love to chase a dream. Please don't hear that. The lesson is this. Sometimes survival looks like losing something precious, not because you don't love it, but because you're refusing to let your story end there. Sometimes the bravest thing isn't holding on. It's betting on yourself when every number says you're a fool. Stallone didn't know Rocky would work. He just knew that if he took the easy money and watched someone else wear his gloves, he'd spend the rest of his life wondering who he could have been. And Butkus? He got to see the answer.